Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about an effort by the Florida state government, the Attorney General, to stop the Justice Department from blocking its investigation into Ryan Routh. That's the man charged with attempting to assassinate former President Trump. This is the initial assassination attempt. The one that maybe buzzed by his ear or maybe shrapnel was kicked up. But anyway, it's that, and the man lurks around. You probably remember the details. Eventually gets a clean line of sight on Trump, which is just dumbfounding for anyone who knows how the Secret Service operates. And the Secret Service is in all kinds of hot water as a result of this. But there's an investigation, and the investigation is to an attempted assassination of a former president. And nevertheless, on the direct order of the governor, Ron DeSantis of Florida, Florida opened a parallel investigation into the same man because there's also a violation of Florida criminal law. Now, the way this normally works is that when there's a attempted shooting of either a federal official, former federal official, the federal government has the primary interest. And the FBI, comes to the field and starts throwing its weight around, and pretty soon it's clear that they are in charge of the case, and the state's ability will be, if at all, to in the wake of what the federal government does. Think about, for example, the Oklahoma City case, big bombing of a federal facility, post office, by McVeigh, and the feds took it completely over, even though Oklahoma law was also at issue. So what doesn't happen is a governor demanding of the governor's attorney general that they start their own investigation. They did it. They did it after the feds already were working the case. But, and I point this out just because Florida says it's important, we talked about this at the time, the feds initially, to hold Ryan Routh, the man who tried to assassinate Trump, first had charges of federal firearms violations, and then after they developed them, those were to hold them, and they developed in short order the attempted assassination charges on which they're proceeding. Why does that matter? The Florida Attorney General, who brought a suit today, says that the normal prioritization where the feds go first shouldn't apply except when they're doing an assassination or something of the like, not a pedestrian firearms offense. And the Florida the Florida prosecutors did commence their investigation before the grand jury returned the charges in the case for the federal government. But that argument seems to me not to fly at all, because what's happening here is there's actually a statute that says, this is 18 USC 351, about assassination, kidnapping, and assault. It specifically says that when the feds get involved, that's involvement shall suspend the exercise of jurisdiction by a state or local authority under any applicable state or local law until the federal action is terminated. So in a case with such a strong federal interest as this, the feds are actually primary and first by operation of federal law, which is, of course, preemptive. And it doesn't matter whether they had already started it or not. Maybe there's nothing wrong, they could try to say, with having first started to look into it when it was just a firearms offense. But after it became an attempted assassination, they received in Florida an 18-page letter from the feds. The FBI never writes short, explaining, hey, this is our case now, 3501. Thank you very much. Please back down. And DeSantis, though the law is against him, that doesn't stop him now from going into court and getting a political headline and showing the citizens of Florida he wants to have this case as well. Of course, there are very good reasons, by the way, that the you only want one jurisdiction at a time. They could really sort of weed in each other's gardens, get statements that are inconsistent and tripping over one another. There's, it's just for straight law enforcement reasons you would want one at a time. And here the law is clear when the interest is so strongly federal that one at a time begins with the Fed. So I don't see this lawsuit by DeSantis going very far. Of course, individual judges in Florida, hypothetically speaking, can always do funny stuff. But I think the law is pretty clear, and DeSantis will need to back down. DeSantis probably thinks the same, but nevertheless likes the luck of being in there fighting for Florida to assert its jurisdiction and its interests. That's where that stands. There'll now be an answer from the United States to the complaint, and then it'll go forward as the Florida seeks, probably unsuccessfully, a order from a court telling the feds to let them into the sandbox as well. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.